finding that comfortable position, sitting up tall on your sit bones, so just wiggle a little bit just to find those sit bones. And then just closing the eyes down, bringing your focus to your breath. So just noticing how your breath is right now, where it's coming from, the nose or the mouth, combination of the two. And then just consciously taking a deep breath in through the nose, and then just sigh the breath out through the mouth, let it go. Couple more the same, breathing and lengthen up through the spine, all the way from the sit bones up to the crown of the head. And then exhale, just sigh it out, let it go. One more deep breath here, breathing and lengthen the spine, find that space in the vertebrae. Exhale, sigh it out. And then just moving the weight just a little bit forward of the sit bones now, bringing your hands to the floor. Take that deep breath in again through the nose, find the length in your spine. And then as you exhale, folding forward, just from your hip creases, walking your hands out a little bit more with each breath. So breathing in, find that length. Breathing out, folding forward. So once you've come as far as you can from the hips, just let the weight of the head come forward and just slowly folding down a little deeper. So still work with your breath, your inhale, find that length and space. Breathing out to soften down a little bit more. And just take another 2 breaths. Releasing tension with your exhalation, just trying to find that softness. Releasing into this position a little more, one more breath. And then slowly walking your hands back in. And then we'll just turn towards the left knee, just try and squaring your hips off as much as you can. And same thing, breathing in, find that space in the spine, and then exhale, walking forward. So this time with a little bit of rotation, we're just trying to plant that other hip down as you fold to the other side. Breathing in, find a bit more room. Breathing out, melting down. So letting the weight of the head help you come down here. Just might be feeling that stretch right into the hip, lower back, maybe travelling up the body a little further. Couple more breaths. Use each exhale to just soften any areas of tension, coming down a little further. Releasing, walking the hands back in, turning to the other side. Square those hips off as much as you can. And then breathe in, find the length in your torso. Exhale, starting to walk forward. Breathing in. Breathing out, coming down a little more with each exhalation. Just notice how this side feels compared to the other side. Just about 3 more breaths. Using the weight of the head just to help you come down a little more, add that stretch a little further up into the upper body. And slowly walking the hands back in. So we'll just stretch the neck a little more here, so just bringing the chin down towards the chest, and then breathing in, just bringing the chin up towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Just doing that a couple more times. And then just bring the chin back down to the chest, just drawing little U shapes with the nose, so coming up to one shoulder. Bringing the chin back down and over to the other side. So think of dropping that opposite shoulder down towards the floor a little more. Just to increase the stretch a little further. Going as slow as you like. So maybe moving with the breath, you might do your inhale to the left, exhale to the right, or just finding whatever rhythm works with your breathing. to the next side, just keeping the chin towards that shoulder. Take your opposite arm into the small of your back, so the back of the hand resting into the lower back. And just increase the stretch a little further now. So think about this elbow reaching down towards the floor. And if you want to increase the stretch a little more, maybe bring the chin just up a little bit more, take the gaze up a little bit, and just change that stretch, bring it up the neck a little further. Soften through the body, lowering that elbow down a little more, one more breath. Bringing your chin back to centre, just releasing that arm, bringing your chin up to the other shoulder, and then taking that opposite arm just into the small of the back. So start by just lowering that elbow down towards the floor, and maybe bringing your chin up a little higher, follow the gaze. Bringing back to centre, just rolling the shoulders up and back a few times here, letting go of tension through the shoulders. Good. And then we'll come and work with our roller a bit today, so we'll sit up on top of the roller and just loosen off the glutes. So sitting right up on top, bringing your hands back, maybe just resting on your fingertips, and then just rolling back and forward, keeping your legs parallel, just going all the way through the glutes, so going right to the top and then down just underneath. And then going back to sit right on top of it, take your knees over to one side. You can even move your whole body over now using this hand just completely down onto the floor. Now just working through the sides a little more, so just adjust your position as much as you need to. Just releasing tension that gets stored in those glutes and that hip area. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper on this side, taking your right ankle, or left if you're going towards that side, so just whatever leg you've got to the side that you're going towards, and just bringing that onto the other thigh, and then just rolling back and forward on this floating knee side. And just get a little bit more into those smaller muscles underneath the glute max, just moving that out the way a little bit. Might run away a bit, you might have to readjust. See, I'm going further and further backwards. Couple more times there. Good, and then we'll come back to the other side, just readjust your position if you've got a rolling away, and then taking both knees over to the other side now, so just rolling back and forward. And just notice the sides, maybe one side's a little bit tighter than the other, usually the second side. And then keep going with that, or if you want to go deeper, bring the ankle onto the thigh, take your weight over to that floating knee side again, and so just move that glute max out of the way. You can get into that piriformis muscle, a little bit more into the glute medius and minimus. Okay, my face is facing this way for this side. Coming back to centre when you're ready. And then we'll just come off the roller, just move it out the way for a moment. Take the feet nice and wide, and just bringing your hands back. We'll just come into a little windscreen wiper with the legs, just loosening off those tight spots. And then we're going to add a little bit of a rotation through the shoulder here. So bringing your knees over to our inside, take the opposite arm, sweep it up and around, and bring it back. And then bring the knees over, so you're sweeping the arm forward. Follow your gaze with your hand as well. I'm just doing this a couple more times each side. exhalation, try not to sink into that grounded arm shoulder, so try and keep that length through the neck. And then we'll go to the other side, stay on this side, so let the knees come all the way over, reach that arm up and around, and we'll do 3 big circles each way. So an inhale, exhale, however you want to use your breath here. I think that's 3, back the other way. Good, last one there. And bring yourself over to the other side, sweeping that arm around 3 times. Breathing in, breathing out. Find that rhythm with the breath. You might even do an inhale for 1 circle, exhale for the next one. And then once you've done 3, back the other way. Breathing in, breathing out. Trying to look towards your hands, so just adding a bit more of work for the neck here as well. Lovely. Coming back to centre. We'll set up to lay on the roller now. So just getting your roller, bringing it long ways across along your mat, and then to get onto it, just sitting on the end and lowering yourself down. Make sure you've got back of the head and your tailbone supported, so just don't want to have your head hanging off the end. Feet are on the floor, knees are bent, and just let the arms come out to the sides. Have your palms facing the ceiling. Maybe move your feet a bit wider as well, let your knees knock together. And this just allows you to stay on the roller without having to work too hard through the core straight away. So just allowing yourself to focus on your breath while you're here. So breathing in through your nose, and then breathing out through your mouth like you're blowing out through a straw. So you breathe in, you want to feel the expansion through the whole of your rib cage. So focusing on a 3-dimensional breath, breathing in to expand the front, the sides and the back of your ribs. Breathing out, just trying to release that long stream of breath. Just letting go of tension with each exhalation. Allowing the body to open, particularly through the chest. So just laying on the roller, just so good to allow our shoulder blades to soften, just wrap around the roller, letting all the muscles through the front of the body open and expand. So basically the opposite position to what we're in most of the day. So just take another 3 deep breaths here. You might even want to use that sighing out exhalation again. Let's just soften that a little bit further. Couple more breaths. One more here. So we'll bring the feet and the knees back to parallel. So we want to be nice and neutral through this position. So our pelvis is flat, got that little bit of space under the lower back between you and the roller. So thinking about these oblique muscles that run between our hips and ribs. As you exhale, just gently engage through your lower abdominals, bringing your hips towards your ribs, shortening that distance, coming into a little imprint, and then releasing as you breathe in. So as you exhale, initiate with your pelvic floor muscles, lift up through those lower abdominals, feel that engagement, and then exhale, releasing back to that natural curve. So a really subtle contraction, only working at about 1/4 of your effort here. Just draw up through pelvic floor, engage the lower abs, and then release. So that other visualization, you can imagine you've got a marshmallow under your lower back. As you breathe out, you're trying to use your lower abdominals to squash that marshmallow down. Breathing in to release, breathing out to come into that imprint. It's a nice gentle work for the pelvic floor, transverse abdominals. You can start to hold it a little longer if you like. So on that next exhalation, coming into that little imprint, maintain that imprint now as you breathe in, breathe out, Maybe another breath or two. I'm going to hold this contraction for about 10 seconds. And then when you're ready, using an inhale just to release back to neutral. We'll do another 3 rounds in your own time. So exhale, draw up through the pelvic floor, feel that contraction and change. Should start to feel a bit of a warming sensation as we do a few more repetitions. And then release. 2 more in your own time. Again, just being careful not to overwork these muscles, so quite hard to gauge sometimes where that 25% is. So you can always do 1 round working at your maximum, and then the next round half that effort, and then half it again, just to feel where that 25% is. Finishing that last round there, just coming back to neutral. Just give the hips a little wiggle just to loosen off through the hips. So we'll maintain our neutral now, just working into a leg lift. So take a breath in to prepare, exhale, float 1 leg up to tabletop, and then inhale, lower it down. I'm going to alternate legs, exhale, float the other leg off, inhale, lower. So you can do this with your imprint if you're finding it a little bit unstable, just working in a neutral. And then we're working towards doing this with a neutral position through the pelvis. Exhale to lift, inhale, lower. Just being aware how this feels through the torso. You can always use your hands onto the floor for a bit more support. Take them out a little further, just come up onto the fingertips if you need a little bit more help with your balance today. There we go, 1 more on each leg. Exhale to float it up. Inhale, lower down, last one. Good. So we'll return to that little imprint now. We use it any time we've got to bring both feet off the floor. Bring 1 leg to come up to tabletop. This will probably be the leg you always bring up first. So we'll bring that leg back down, take the other leg up first, and then bring your other leg to meet it. So see what feels better with the knees together or apart a little bit. Just find what works better for your balance. So we're going to take a deep breath in. As you exhale, extend your right leg away. Inhale, bend it back. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale, bring it back. Use your exhale, blowing out through pursed lips. This helps to engage the abdominals a little better. One more to each side. And then bringing the feet back down, wiggle them wide, let the knees knock in together, flip the palms over to face the ceiling. Just take another 3 deep breaths here. It's letting the belly soften and relax, so you don't have to hold on right now, so just let everything go. Couple more deep breaths here. Really important to have those moments where you soften in between. You can get really intense just holding everything in all the time. Sigh that breath out, let it go. So we'll bring our legs back to parallel, bring those hands back over to the floor. Come back into your little imprint position. Try and bring your not so favourite leg up first, and then the other leg to meet it. So from here we're really working the lower abdominals now. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, extend both legs away. Start by going up towards the ceiling a little more. Inhale, bend it back. Exhale, reach. So we don't want to lose this imprint. If the legs go too low, then you might feel the lower back lifting away. We don't want to feel that. So find that area where the legs are low enough that you're getting the work, but not so low that you are losing that imprint. Inhale, bend. Exhale, reach. 3 to go. Go a little lower if you want to challenge yourself. Just maintaining that imprint. Last one. Yeah, just bring the knees in, just let them come in a little closer. Hold it there for a couple of breaths, letting the back soften. You can always bring the feet to the floor if you need to have a little rest in between. And then we're going to bring our legs back to that tabletop position, so nice right angle through the legs. Focus on your deep core muscles here. Take a deep breath in. So you exhale, float one arm off and up towards the ceiling, and inhale, lower it down. Exhale, float the left arm off, inhale, lower. So just alternating arms. Again, these can be together or apart. Keep that focus and concentration on your abdominals. One more on each side. And thank goodness, lower those legs down. Take the feet wide, let the knees knock in, palms face the ceiling. Taking a few deep breaths here. Just allowing the body to soften, let the abdominals relax. And then we'll just bring our feet back to parallel, knees in line, and we'll just focus on the shoulders and the upper body for a moment. So taking the hands to the outside of the thighs, breathing in as you take your arms up and over. Be mindful not to let your ribs pop up here. Exhale as you circle the arms all the way around to the hips. Inhale to come up and over, keep the ribs down and in. Palms face the ceiling as you circle all the way to the hips. Breathing in, breathing out. And keeping that nice even movement. Only going as big with the circles as it feels right into your shoulders. So if you've got any discomfort there, just do the circles a little smaller, more towards the ceiling. Just don't go quite so wide as you take the arms out. You can always do this a little easier as well by bringing your fingertips to your shoulders and just circle at the elbows. So just if the shoulders finding that lever of the arm a little too long with it extended, it's another option there. A couple more this direction. When the hands get to the hips, going back the other way. So breathing in as you take the arms wide, breathing out as the arms come through the centre. Different sensation now through the torso as the arms come down through the centre. Just that natural rolling down and in through the abdominals, through the ribs. You can increase this if you like, just keep going with the arm circles otherwise. But as the arms come overhead, nod the head before you come up and then roll from your ribs down and in. Inhale as you release back down. Exhale, nod the head. Roll the ribs down and in towards the top of your pants. And then inhale wide to the side. So just that little tuck of the chin just gets our neck flexors activated. 3 to go. Last one. Releasing all the way down, let those palms face up, wiggle the feet wide, let the knees knock together. And just take 3 deep breaths here. Maybe using that sighing out breath just to let it go a little further. Let the belly soften, chest open, let the face relax, the jaw, the back of the head. One more deep breath here. And we'll just come off the rollers, so just come off to one side, push it out from underneath you, just move it out the way for a moment. And just taking the feet nice and wide, bringing your arms back into the cactus arm, And then just letting the knees go from side to side. So you can do this slowly or moving with your breath, whatever feels good. So loosening off those hips into the obliques as well. So just letting those lower parts of our obliques have a little stretch out here, holding us up on the roller all that time. And then we'll bring the feet back into parallel, just bringing the arms down, rising your right leg or one leg up towards the ceiling, just holding behind the thigh. Just little ankle rotations here, about 5 each way, nice and slow. Drawing as big a circle with your big toe as you can, and then back the other direction. Stretching into the hamstrings, just holding behind the thigh if you're not quite that flexible here like me, or you can reach further up to the calf if you want to go that little bit deeper. Try and relax through your shoulders, through your face. The whole body likes to try and get involved when we stretch our hamstrings, but not necessary. So try and remind all those common areas that like to tense up, to just relax and soften. A couple more breaths, just gently drawing the toes towards the floor behind you. And then we'll bend that right knee, bringing your ankle onto your thigh, other thigh, and just gently using your hand to encourage your knee away from you. So just into a reclining pigeon position. Keep your foot here a little bit flexed just to protect your knee. And this might be where you stay today, or if you want to go deeper, just lifting that left foot off the floor. Thread the needle holding around your thigh or maybe the shin. Use a band or any other prop if you feel you're straining to keep the head and shoulders down. Want to make sure the head and the shoulders are relaxed, so maybe just move the head side to side. And then use your arm strength to go a little deeper, drawing one knee in towards you, using your elbow to encourage that other knee away. And just relax into your breath here, soften, using just your arms, let the legs be passive. Long breath in, and a slow breath out. We'll be using that sighing breath. It just helps to soften when we're using a deeper stretch as well. One more deep breath. And then ease off, but keep the grip and just gently moving your knees side to side just to soften those hips off a little bit further. Release the leg, keeping the ankle and the knee, taking the arms back to that cactus arm position. And we'll just bring the knee side to side a little deeper now, so going a little further. Maybe that knee touches the floor, maybe the toes will touch on the other side. And turn your head the opposite way from the knees. Come back to centre, just releasing that leg now, coming to the other side. So rising the other leg up, just holding behind the thigh or reaching up a little further if you can. Well, not quite yet, we'll do our ankle rotations first, so just 5 each way. Nice and slow. Changing direction after 5. Deepen into the hamstring stretch, maybe go through the upper body and soften down a little first. Reaching up further if you can. And just working with your breath. Your inhale, maybe reach out of your hip a little further. Your exhale, folding at your hip crease a little more. So not forcing, just gentle encouragement. foot a little bit flexed, and using your hand just to encourage that knee away from you. So spend a little bit of time here in reclining pigeon. Getting that hip a little more open. And then you might stay here or lifting your other foot off the floor, holding under the thigh or maybe around the front of the shin. Just again making sure that you're not straining through the upper body. Just gently using your arm strength to bring your knee a little closer towards you. I'll keep opening through that hip as well. It's a deep stretch, deep breaths. So try and use each exhalation just to soften wherever you're feeling this one. Usually right into the hips, the glutes. I feel it travelling through the leg or into the back a little as well. Couple more breaths. And then releasing the grip, or just that little wiggle from side to side first, easing off a little bit. And then release, bringing the foot to the floor, taking your arms back to those cactus arms, and then going a little further with our knee movements. So just taking your legs side to side, maybe touching the toes down on one side. That knee or thigh might touch the floor on the other side, might not. Doesn't matter. Turning your head the opposite way to your legs. And then coming back to centre, just hugging your knees in towards you. Little circles with the knees. Just a couple each direction. And then making your way up when you're ready. So maybe just rolling yourself up. Might want to have a little drink before we continue. So from here we'll still use our roller, so we'll come onto all fours. Just having your hands under your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and having the roller as close to your hand and your knee as you can. So focusing on spinal rotation. So you want to make sure the spine's nice and neutral, nice and long, rather than being in an arched or extended position. So make sure that spine's long. And just watching that the hips don't drift back with this one. We want to keep the hips right over the knees. So make sure the weight's more towards the internal part of the hands. Picking your outside arm up and just bringing that across on top of the roller with the palm facing up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, soften that elbow, rotate and reach through. Inhale to come back to centre. So exhale, rotating, bringing out the spine. So we're just essentially squeezing any stale air out that may have collected after the night's sleep, any toxins just maybe sitting at the lower lobes of the lungs. Exhale. Use your full exhalation. You want to release your whole breath before you come back to centre. Rotate and reach. Couple more here. Good. And we'll come over to the other side. So just bringing that around to the other side. Be making sure the roll is nice and close to your hand and your knee. Nice and long through your spine, getting grounded through that internal part of the hand. Just makes that internal part of the arm work a bit better. Bringing the back of the hand on top of the roller. Take a deep breath in to prepare. As you exhale, rotate and reach. Inhale back to centre. 2 to go. Just readjust anytime that roller rolls away from you. Good. Coming back, just moving the roller out the way for a moment. And then just coming down into a child's pose or shell stretch. So knees together, keeping your arms extended for this version. So reaching through the fingertips, sinking down through the hips. So just wiggle your hips a little if there's a bit of stiffness there, just to try and soften down to the floor a little more. And then just very gently pressing down into the palms of the hands as you exhale, just as much as you want to increase the stretch through your shoulders. Walking on your fingertips over to one side, so bringing the hands all the way off the mat. Sinking down through the opposite hip now, reaching those inside fingers a little bit further. Gently press down through the palm as much as you want to increase that stretch again. Stay here for another 3 breaths. Feeling that deep stretch from all the way through your side, from your fingertips to your hip. And then walking your fingertips over to the other side. Bring your belly over towards more one thigh. And then reaching those inside fingers a little bit further. Sinking down through hip and the hand. 3 more breaths. And then coming back to centre, either keeping the arms extended or you may want to just come down into a full stretch, bringing your hands back by your feet. Just letting your shoulders round forward. Just a nice position to feel the breath going into the back of the body. So as you breathe in, feeling that expansion through the top of the back, all of those trapezius muscles. And then exhale, sinking down to the floor a little more. Inhale, expand, front, sides and back of the rib cage. Particularly focusing on the back of the ribs here. 1 more deep breath, maybe sigh the exhalation out, let it go. And then using your hands, slowly coming up, leaving the head to last. And then we'll get our roller again and just bring it across the mat in front of us. Then laying down onto your belly. So I'm going to pick our feet up and bring them out to the corners of the mat, just so our hips are open, just so we can use our glutes for support here. And then bringing your arms onto the roller, so about the middle of the forearm, resting there, arms in a V as well, so legs and arms in a V. Just letting your head just rest between your biceps, it's just hovering off the mat here. Using your shoulder blades, breathing in to draw the shoulder blades up. And then as you exhale, draw the shoulder blades down the back. So you're trying to just move from the scapula, your shoulder blades. Try not to be bending at your elbows. So you want to keep your arms long. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades down. Just a couple more here. And then find your neutral, so between those 2 positions, this time focusing more on strengthening the lower back. So all on an inhalation, we're going to draw the shoulder blades down the back as we lift our head and chest, just enough to see the roller, and then exhale to come down. So your inhalation, you want to be lengthening through the crown of the head all the way up, and then keep lengthening all the way down. So just that sense of length through your spine. And as you come up, you'll feel your glute muscles engaged just to support your lower back. When you release down, just try and let everything relax. So you're feeling that difference to those glutes engaging and then allowing them to soften and release. 3 more rounds. Breathing in, draw those shoulder blades down, breathing out. So only come up as high as it feels right for you. You don't want to be overstraining here. Just enough to feel that strength in the lower back. You can always hold it a little bit longer up here, maybe take an extra breath or two, just to work on that endurance in the muscles a little more. Coming all the way down. So just move that roller forward, just making a little pillow with your hands, just resting your forehead here. And then we'll focus on the glutes a little bit more. So contracting the glutes and then relaxing just on one side. So focus on one leg to start with. And you may just need to lift that knee off just to feel those glutes engage and then relax. So just doing that 5 times, just that little bit of engagement and release. This must be 5. Now we're going to come into a leg lift. So we want to feel that engagement of the muscle first, and then lift the leg up, squeeze into the glutes, lower the leg down and relax. 5 of these in total. Exhale, squeeze it up, lower and release. 3 to go. 2 more. Last time. And then going to the other side, give the hips a little wiggle first just to loosen off, and then focusing on just that contraction, so maybe just the knees lifting off and then relaxing. So just feeling that engagement and release. So largest muscle probably needs more reminding than a lot of the others to actually engage and do their job. That little reminder first before we go deeper. So now doing the same thing, engaging that leg and then lifting it up, squeeze into the glutes, lower down and relax. 5 of these in total. Two to go. Last one. Let everything relax, that little wiggle through the hips again. And we're going to do a double leg lift. So we'll just do 5. It doesn't matter how far the legs are coming off the floor, so that even if they're just coming off an inch, that's fine. Just want to make sure you're not overstraining through the upper body. So take a deep breath in to prepare. As you exhale, feel that engagement of the glutes and then lift the legs off. And then lower down and relax. Engage and lift, lower and release. 3 more the same. One to go. Good. And we'll bring our legs back to parallel, and then bringing our hands under our shoulders, pushing self up and back. Just come into that little shell stretch again. Just important to let the spine round over after we've been doing a lot of extension work through the spine. So just take a few deep breaths here, letting the back round forward, letting everything stretch out. Again, that focus on the breath going into the back of the rib cage. Nice deep breath in, long breath out. Just taking another 3 breaths here. slowly making your way back up. You don't want to come out of that pose, I understand. So we'll use the roller again. And then we'll just come down onto our back. Come down onto our back with the roller between our heels and our hips. So just getting that roller underneath. And just stretch out, done a fair amount of work for the glutes, so we'll just lift up and roll that roller towards you, getting that right across your hips. I don't want to go so far that you're right on the lower back, so make sure you're right across the hips there. Think of that little imprint that we did earlier, so you want to bring that little engagement in, shortening the obliques, raising the legs to tabletop, try not to bring that favourite leg up first, bringing them both up so knees are in line. And this is our goal here, to keep the knees glued together and in line. Hold the roller with the hands. You might have to readjust a couple times if you feel like you're slipping out of your position. So take a deep breath in to prepare. As you exhale, take both knees to one side. You're going to work a little more through the glutes to keep these knees in line with each other. Breathe in and hold. And then exhale, rolling over to the other side. Breathe in and hold. Exhale, moving to the other side. So not the goal to get the knees all the way over, more to just keep those knees in line with each other. So got that little bit of extra work through the glutes to keep that inside leg lifted a little further. Also getting the added benefit of a little massage into your hips. And then you can keep going like this, or if you want to when you get to the other side. On the inhale, extend the legs. So now we're focusing on keeping our big toes in line. Bend the knees as you shift to the other side. Inhale, hold, or reach through the legs. Exhale to move. Inhale to reach. Or hold. Just one more to each side. If you roll off a little, just bring the feet down, bring that roller back up a little bit. And then we're going to come back with our knees bent to this side we started on, and then just doing little circles with the knees, so just about 5 each way. Just a really nice way to add into that massage into the hips. Back the other way. And over to the other side. 5 little circles. Coming back to centre. And just bringing the feet down, lifting the hips up, just rolling that roller out from underneath you. And then we'll just bring our feet on top of the roller. We'll come into a little hip release. So still working a bit more into those lower abdominals, and you may need to adjust again, bringing the roller in and out if it runs away from you. So keeping the legs parallel, we're going to breathe in and roll the roller away. And then open from the hips, so the toes come out, knees are wide, bending the knees to come back in, and then move back to parallel. So just a little rotation into the hips. Inhale to extend the legs and open the hips. Exhale, bend the knees back to parallel. Walk it in a little if it drifts. But yeah, you want to notice if one side's coming in a lot more than the other or moving away. Just noticing if there's a really strong imbalance in the legs. I haven't done much of it today, but all that single leg work, it's so beneficial to keep our body nice and balanced. Just do one more this direction. Good, and then getting back to the top, may need to readjust, and then we'll go the other way. So we're going to breathe in and open the hips, knees come wide, roll it away, bring the legs back to parallel, and then floating the feet up over the roller. So this time you might have to readjust each time, maybe every other time. So just reversing that direction, open, roll it away, back to parallel, float the feet up. Couple more rounds this direction. Last one. Good. And then roll it out again, keeping the legs straight. Bring the roller so it's just sort of above the ankles, so at the bottom of the calves. Take the feet a little wider and then just rotate them into your ankles, just so you can use the roller to massage that lower part of the calves. So just do 5 circles each way. And then moving that roller up a little bit more, so more towards the top of the calf. And then again, just little rotations, just really giving those calf muscles a little massage. Back the other direction. Good. So move the roller out the way, and we'll just finish off with a nice little spinal twist here. So we'll bring our right knee in towards us, let the left leg extend all the way out. Might want to take that knee just out to the side and back in, just get around the belly and internal organs. Interlace the hands and just using your arm strength to draw your knee towards your shoulder. Stay really long and lengthen through your other leg, so you feel that firmness and just planting that other leg down onto the floor. Bring in as much pressure as you like. Increase this, but just drawing that knee in a little bit further. You feel a little pinching sensation through the front of the hip flexors, just restricting that blood flow to that area at the moment. Also starting on our right side, just putting that little bit of pressure on our ascending colon. Ease off a little bit. Keep that left leg long and flex into the foot. Bring your arm out to anchor that left side down. So we're going to open through our right hip, bringing our elbow to the floor just so that you've got that support of your elbow in your hand, and then just slowly allowing that hip to open a little further. So not rushing or trying to do this, just letting time and gravity help this hip to open and release. So we need to be patient with our hips. Let's feel that opening just slowly happening. Gravity just letting that knee drift to the floor. A little more with each breath. And then use your arm strength to bring your leg back to centre. Swap the hands over. Come into a full spinal twist. So you might want to shift your weight over onto the outside of your left hip. And just using your hand to guide the knee across the body. So try and keep your shoulder blade in contact with the floor. And with your head looking over your shoulder. And then just gently bringing the chin back to look the other way. So just adjust the head. This can just increase the stretch into the neck a little more. And just slowly move the head side to side, or just hold it into that stretch. And then to come out, you're using your arm strength again to push your leg back to centre. Just come to a Shavasana position for a moment, just seeing how that feels from one side to the other, just comparing. You feel that length or drop into that right hip. So even everything up, come to the other side. Bring your left knee in, take it out to the side and back in. Just interlacing the hands, drawing your knee towards your shoulder. So this time putting pressure on the descending colon, so just a good little sequence to help aid our digestion as well. Try and relax the face, So the rest of the body, just your arm strength working here. And easing off, anchor through the other side of the body, so bringing your arm out, flexing your foot, and then open from the hip, letting your elbow and hand support the knee. And just soften here. Once you're in this position, nothing else to do. Just breathe, let that hip open and relax. Couple more deep breaths. And use your arm strength to guide the leg back to centre, swapping your arms over, coming across the body into a full spinal twist now. And trying to keep that left shoulder blade down on the floor, might be looking over the left shoulder, and stay here with the head, or sometimes to increase if you look the other way, just brings that stretch into the side of the neck as well. So either just hold the head in one position or maybe just gently moving the head side to side. Couple more deep breaths. And using your arm strength to push the leg back to centre. Extending both legs out now. Just come into a little Shavasana position. Just taking a few breaths here to finish off our session. And just that little reminder to your physical body, you don't need to hold on here. Spend our whole day holding ourselves together, mentally and emotionally and physically as well. Sometimes it takes a little bit for the physical body to actually let go. Just that little reminder that the floor is supporting your weight. You've done the work, you don't have to do anything else now. Just taking 3 deep breaths with that sighing out exhalation, just to try and soften a little further, letting your body sink and spread. One more deep breath. Sigh it out, let it go. And just wriggle the fingers and toes, have a big stretch out, reaching your arms overhead. Like you've just woken up, maybe reach one arm and then the other. Hug the knees in towards you. Maybe doing a little rock from side to side, or maybe a few circles with the knees each way. Waking yourself back up. And making your way up when you are ready. And that completes our session. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Just unmuting.